The Ford EcoSport is an all-new compact off-road style car aimed at a target audience that wants the high riding position of a 4x4 but still wants something small enough to cope with the urban environment. It's based on the Fiesta, which means it drives extremely well. The body does roll around noticeably more though thanks to the high driving position, but in the main it's a comfortable small car which has much to recommend it. While it's not built with rough terrain use in mind, the spare wheel located on the boot lid is a hat-tip to real off-roaders. Good selection of engines. While the emphasis definitely isn't on performance, the EcoSport's engines seem well matched with the car. We're impressed with how the 1.5-litre diesel engine performs on the road. It's smooth and refined, even at speed. Equally impressive is the EcoBoost petrol engine, yet we found the handling wasn't as sharp with the lighter motor installed. While running costs aren't as competitive as the Fiesta, it's not going to cost the world to tax or insure the EcoSport. High-tech features. The EcoSport is aimed at 30-something professionals who are connected to the internet, and this car aims to help them stay connected on the move. Ford's Sync voice-activated multimedia system is available with a new feature called AppLink, which allows smartphone users to control applications on their device through the voice control system. This means you can call up your favorite song on music streaming service Spotify, or listen to audiobooks on the move. Other equipment installed on the EcoSport, in its one and only trim level, includes keyless entry and engine start, alloy wheels, tire pressure monitoring and a multifunction steering wheel from the Fiesta which features buttons for the sync system. You also have the option of upgrading to Titanium X-Pack, which nets you items such as larger 17-inch alloy wheels along with leather seats, cruise control and automatic lights and wipers. Optional extras are limited to parking sensors which have been cleverly programmed to ignore the boot-mounted spare wheel, and dealer-fit accessories, such as a towing bar. The EcoSport is going to have its work cut out in its sector. Rivals such as the Nissan Juke have proven incredibly popular, and Ford is only planning to bring a limited number of cars to the UK to start with, so is banking on high demand in order to secure more units in the future. Facelift in 2015. In 2015 at the Geneva Motor Show an update was announced which Ford hopes will help sell more of this fairly unsuccessful car. The main news is that spare wheel at the rear. It's now optional, and if you don't want it you'll get a tire repair kit instead. Other tweaks include a revised interior and new suspension settings, but we'll reserve judgment on these until we've tried the EcoSport on UK roads. To find out more about this all-new car and how it fares, read on for the full Ford EcoSport review. Performance. Ford EcoSport performance is best described as adequate. It's certainly not going to set the world on fire, no matter which of the three engines you choose. We've tested the EcoSport with the 5-speed manual gearbox, and can report a solid and assured shift action with pleasingly spaced ratios. The diesel option. Those looking for the ultimate in low running costs will want to consider the 1.5-litre diesel engine. Making just 98 bhp with 205 Nm of torque at 1,750 revolutions per minute. This engine will help the EcoSport to go from 0 miles per hour in 14 seconds. This is the pick of the range of engines, and is expected to make up 35% of all EcoSport sales. It's very smooth and pulls well from low revs, which makes it perfect for town driving. If you need to venture out onto the motorway, it can begin to struggle, but dropping a gear gives you enough punch to get up steep hills at speed. Petrol engines. While there are 2 petrol engines on offer, we suspect the majority of buyers will go for the 1.0-litre, 3-cylinder EcoBoost one. While this award-winning turbocharged unit develops 123 bhp and 170 Nm of torque between 1,400 and 4,000 revolutions per minute, it propels the EcoSport from 6 miles per hour in 12.7 seconds. It's not exactly fast. What it is, however, is the most powerful engine on offer, so if you're looking for performance then it's your only option. On the open road the EcoBoost drives well. Its generous spread of torque means it's tractable and versatile, and the 5-speed box doesn't require too much of a workout in order to make good progress. The other petrol choice is a 1.5-litre, 110 bhp unit which can be mated to either a 5-speed manual or a 6-speed automatic gearbox. The former will do 62 miles per hour in a leisurely 13.3 seconds, while the latter takes 14.1 seconds to do the same sprint. Handling. While the EcoSport is based on the Fiesta, you can't expect the same pin-sharp handling since this car is far taller, and thus rolls around a lot more when cornering. It drives very nicely at lower speeds, but turn up the wick a bit and the front end tends to push wide, especially so in slippery conditions. The steering is nicely weighted, especially on the diesel model with its heavier engine, but there's a noticeable area around the straight ahead which lacks response. This has the effect of making you feel slightly disconnected when turning into a corner, and coupled with the body roll it means you lose the confidence to drive the car in a spirited fashion. That's a shame, because it's one of the Fiesta's endearing traits. Equipment. There's just one trim level for the EcoSport, and that can be upgraded with an optional Titanium X package. Standard Ford EcoSport equipment. The sole trim level on offer is titanium. This includes 16-inch alloy wheels, front fog lights, silver roof rails, keyless entry, keyless engine start with its own button, a tire pressure monitoring system, automatic electronic temperature control, a CD player with radio, USB and aux sockets, electric front and rear windows, a trip computer to show you a variety of information about how you're driving, floor mats and a reach and rake adjustable steering wheel. That steering wheel also houses buttons for controlling the multimedia system, which means you'll be able to keep your hands on the wheel while driving and thus remain safer than having to adjust buttons on the stereo itself. The rear seats are capable of being tilted backwards too, which bolsters comfort for rear passengers. Optional Ford EcoSport accessories. You have the option of improving your titanium trim with the addition of the Titanium X package. This includes larger 17-inch alloys along with a full leather interior. You also get automatic wipers, automatic headlights, and auto-dimming rear view mirrors and a cruise control. Other optional equipment includes Ford Syncs with AppLink, which allows the driver to open many applications on their smartphone via voice control. Features such as music streaming software can be initiated, which means the driver can keep their eyes on the road at all times. The sync system also comes with 6 speakers, Bluetooth hands-free connectivity and emergency assistance, which will call the emergency services for you if it detects the car has been in an accident. All of the multimedia system's parameters are viewable through the 3.5-inch touchscreen in the central console. Rear parking sensors can be ordered too, which can help prevent bumps and scrapes in the supermarket car park. There is also a selection of colors available for an extra cost. The only standard color is yellow. Be very careful with your choice of paint scheme, since it could affect the car's resale value and indeed your ability to sell. Special edition for launch. Ford chose to launch the EcoSport as a special edition model in Facebook. Imaginatively titled the Launch Edition, the first 120 cars sold feature the Titanium X trim and sync with AppLink. The cars were sold out very quickly, but if you're looking to buy second-hand, this might be the trim to look for as it features the highest level of equipment possible. All of these models were finished in black. Comfort. The upshot of a car that rolls around as much as this is that Ford EcoSport comfort levels are very high indeed. In terms of ride quality, it's nearly faultless. The extra height and revised suspension really make a huge difference to the Fiesta's chassis, and the slumps and bumps are absorbed extremely well. One thing we really did notice is the noise. or lack of it. The EcoBoost feels incredibly refined on the road, with din from the engine, road and wind all admirably suppressed. Up front, the seats are great too. They're comfortable and supportive, leaving you feel refreshed after a long journey. Practicality. When considering Ford EcoBoost practicality, it's worth noting that interior space and boot room both vary depending on the configuration of the rear seats. There's a maximum of 333 litres available with these seats at their normal angle. If you tilt them backwards, this drops to 310 litres, and if you tilt them as far forward as possible, then a maximum of 375 litres is unlocked. If you fold the rear seats down altogether, the load space is 1,238 litres. There's more than enough room in the back to accommodate 2 adults, with legroom varying with the angle of the rear seats, and you get a smattering of storage cubbies, including a chilled glove box which will hold 6 cans of drink, and door pockets which will hold 1.5-litre bottles of water. You get a drawer under the front passenger seat too, while the rear door, with its swing-style opening, is a feature which unlocks the maximum possible boot space. Be aware that it opens towards the pavement for the UK rather than away from it. This shouldn't put you off buying the car, but it's worth noting all the same. Safety. The unfortunate fact about Ford EcoSport safety is that it's just not up to scratch with many rivals. It only scored 4 stars in the Euro NCAP crash tests, mainly because of the lack of speed limiter and rear seatbelt reminders, but also because more testing of the front end would be required for a better pedestrian safety score. That said, it scored 93% in the adult occupancy tests, which means it's a safe car to be in if the unthinkable happens. You get a large selection of airbags to keep you safe, while electronic safety features such as stability control with rollover mitigation serve to keep the car on the road in tricky conditions. Reliability. There shouldn't be much to worry you about Ford EcoSport's reliability. The firm has a decent record of building resilient cars, and all of the engines and gearboxes have been tried and tested in other models.